Hello again everyone, I'm Lucas Berry for White Oak Rail. We passed milepost 6 this week, 6 years here on YouTube, and I'd like to take this time to thank each and every one of you who has taken the time to watch this channel over the years. Leave a comment, like, subscribe. I really do appreciate it. Without you, I'd just be some guy out there filming trains. And I guess in some ways I still am. But it's because of the audience that I have that I'm able to, as our tagline says, showing you the railroad, one video at a time. I love railroading around here. I love trains. And I love being able to share that with you. Whether you be a seasoned rail fan who's been doing this for much longer than I, or someone who's new to the hobby, or just someone looking to learn something. I'm grateful for the ability to share this with you. I really am. So with that, we're going to return a little bit to what kind of, well, I guess made this channel famous isn't exactly the right word, but that's the first thing that comes to mind. We're gonna do a talking video. Yes, I'm back with narration. It won't be a whole lot, but we'll kind of go along for the journey. As some of you may know, I do basketball games and football games and stuff for the River Network here in Fayette County, and along with that, I have my own show. It's called Train Time with Lucas Berry, and that has taken up the vast majority of my narrating time, because that is a half-hour narrated program. And quite frankly, it's kind of a lot to decide what you're going to talk about, research, write it, edit it, and do all that. To do that, twice a week or something, I mean, it doesn't sound like a whole lot, but if you care enough about it like I do and you want to make sure you get things right, it can eat into some time. So I've kind of taken a back seat. This is kind of taking a back seat rather to that program, and you can catch that on the River Network. I'll post a link to that in the description. I've also got a playlist here on the channel of episodes of this program. You can go back and watch. It'll take you right to the episodes we post on YouTube. And yeah, so that's what we're gonna do here. Is we're going to almost go back to what we've been doing up until I started this show, with me taking you along on my rail fanning adventure. And I think this is a pretty good one. There was a train show in Charleston, a model train show in February, and a friend of mine went down there. I met him in Oak Hill, and we went down to Charleston, and we actually got really lucky. We caught a train on the old Virginian Railway outside Robson, heading down toward Deepwater. And that's where we'll pick this show up. So without further ado, let's get this show on the road, shall we? Okay, I know this shot is backlit, but I really do not care. We're outside Smithers at the Mammoth Prep Plant watching our train passing coal infrastructure, and that's good enough for me. Not everything is lit up perfectly, and to me, you take the shot when you have a chance, and this is the first chance I've gotten here. I might have more in the future as the prep plant here is about to get a little busier. They'll be taking in coal from Pact, the same location RJ Corman loads their trains, and that raw coal will be brought here by rail to be prepped and shipped out, presumably by barge. As far as I'm aware, only a test train has been run, but I can't imagine revenue service is too far off, if it hasn't started already. While I was at the train show, I took the opportunity to do a little bit of model rail fanning, you might say, including this meet on what we'll say is the old Western Maryland. Even though the circus scheme arrived on WM after the steam era, it's still fun to see. You can almost imagine this train being an alpha jet, running between Hagerstown, Baltimore, Connellsville, somewhere on the Western Maryland. Really kind of fun. While we were at the show, I met up with the one and only Canal Rail fan here on YouTube. After a while of just chatting about, well, anything railroad related, we got word that a BNSF engine was leading grain train G255. My friend and I had already intended to go to the Charleston station anyway, just because we hardly ever get out this way. So with this new information and our newfound companion, we set out for the platform to see what we could see. What we got was far more than I had ever anticipated. First up is empty coal train E221 from Newport News, Virginia to Peach Creek Yard in Logan, West Virginia. After the empties passed, we got to wondering where our grain train was. What we got instead was not an answer but a loaded coal train, and this was no coal drag. No, this thing was flying through the capital city. I never did figure out what the train symbol was, but I can tell you with a fair degree of certainty that it's going to Newport News. It was all company hoppers. The last train of the day is the one that most people on this platform were here to see. BNSF leading G255, loaded grain from Lafayette, Indiana to Rocky Mount, North Carolina. I kind of didn't really want to catch this train. I have no interest in filming foreign power anymore. If Union Pacific succeeds in buying out Norfolk Southern, we could very well see this every day if BNSF swallows up CSX. I only want to film CSX on CSX right now, but you take what's there. Thank you so much, as always, for watching. If you like what you saw here, I invite you to please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you have not done that. We're actually past 900 subscribers now, last time I looked. I don't really set goals here, but I have to admit, getting close to 1,000 would be pretty darn cool if you ask me. So, I very much appreciate it if you do that. Hit that bell to get notified when a new video gets posted. Leave a comment down below if you are so inclined as well. I very much am appreciative of comments, particularly those that spark a conversation. I love talking about this stuff. I love answering questions that you may have. I genuinely do appreciate the community and the conversations that we have. So I am very much grateful for that. Until next time, somewhere out there on the railroad, I'm Lucas Berry for White Oak Rail.